Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Fallout 4. Today, we're going to be starting our Uniques build series within Fallout 4, and this series is happening thanks to our YouTube live community. We've been hitting some goals over there, so thank you everybody for tuning in that does that. So shout out to you guys. Today, we're going to be not just reviewing a Fallout 4 melee build, but specifically a baseball build that we decided to start last week. Now, this guide is going to be covering the perks that I decided to focus on, weapons, and things that I love about the build, as well as things that I wish that we would have done a little bit differently when getting started. Now, I do want to state the gameplay and the guide is built off of about 6 hours of gameplay from a newer character from last week that we started. But in my opinion, this is going to be a great start to get you going in a direction of a very enjoyable melee build when you're adventuring in the Commonwealth. Before we get started, as always, to those of you that have been coming back and supporting the videos, thank you for that. And if you're new and you enjoy Fallout content, please consider subscribing, sharing the video with a friend if you've learned something in today's video. Without further delay, let's get into some Fallout 4.
City's built on code and wire. Every quest lights up the fire. Tamriel to Capital Wasteland.
Now, I know many of you clicking on this video don't care about the extra fluff, so for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and just post my starting stats and in-goal weapons on the screen so you guys can start from there and modify your build based off of that. So those should be on the screen now.
Whatever you're selling, I'm not buying.
No worries, sir. No worries.
And now that those things have been put up there on the screen, I do want to take some time diving specifically into my build and explain my choices of stats and what I personally wish I would have done differently. Now, I do want to say when we were building our character, because this is a melee build, in true fashion of going with the old world, we decided to go with a baseball themed build. And with thanks to our live chat, we determined that our name was going to be Rolly Fingers, which is based off of an actual relief pitcher, which I will be honest with you guys, I didn't know who this guy was, but I learned about him, and his name was actually Rolly Fingers, and he was a relief pitcher, best known for his time with the Athletics, and assisted with 3 World Series wins. Now, again, he was a pitcher. This, again, is a melee build, so we're modifying that a little bit, but we decided to base the design of our character off of this guy because he's got that iconic old school baseball mustache. So now that we've designed our alcoholic washed up slugger from Boston, we're going to take a few moments to just review the stats that I selected. I know I've showed them. We're going to take a moment and look over our special stats that we selected. Our big focal point was strength, charisma, agility, and luck with this build. There is one of those that I would have changed a little bit, and we'll go into that in a moment. But we started with a strength of 5, a perception of 3, an endurance of 3, a charisma of 5, an intelligence of 1, an agility of 6, and a luck of 5. I will go ahead and say right out of the gate, two things that I wish that I would have done differently is instead of starting with a 3 of perception, I would have reduced that down to a 2 and put 1 in strength, making it a 6, and reduce charisma from a 5 to a 3, as I'm not exactly, even with like a level 5 charisma, I'm not really getting a lot of positive interactions with charisma checks with a charisma of 5. I don't know if that's just the luck that I had, but if it was up to me going back and redoing it, I would have sacrificed the charisma in exchange for making my endurance a level of 5 to get more health out of that trade-off with it being a melee build. So to go a little bit further into why I would make those changes, we have 4 major perks that we want to focus on getting as quickly as we possibly can. When I started my playthrough with this character, I picked right out of the gate Big Leagues, which is a strength of level 2. What I'm going to do is retcon that and say you guys need to prioritize Idiot Savant with this build, with it being a low intelligence build. That's going to give you XP bonuses for literally no reason at all, just cooking food, discovering new locations. You'll sometimes just get a random XP boost from that. and the lower your intelligence, the better. And if you're doing a level 1 intelligence build like I am with this character, you're going to see a lot of XP boost for absolutely no reason, and it'll help you get to those higher levels faster. So Idiot Savant's going to be your number 1 perk that you focus on. Then Big Leagues, Moving Target, and then Rooted. And to just give you guys a rundown, that Idiot Savant's a luck level of 5. Big Leagues is a strength level of 2. Moving Target's an agility level of 6. And Rooted is a strength level of 9. All right, guys. So in the last section, we touched base on the perks that you should prioritize. This section, we're going to touch base on the melee weapons that I prioritized during this and that I found to have the most success with. So starting out, I retrieved Big Jim. And Big Jim is basically a big pipe wrench, and it does a 20% chance to cripple the target's leg. It is a legendary weapon, and it's hidden over in Walden's Pond, like under the gift shop. There's like a drainage pipe in the pond that you can enter into. I was under level 5 whenever I retrieved this, so if you're willing to go over there, fight, the enemies, work your way through that little raider hideout, I would say it's a good trade-off to take time to go get that, especially being a lower level melee only build. And then once you get to a little bit of a higher level, I always wait until I go to Diamond City to go to Hubris Comics, because by then you're usually about level 6 or level 7. You've already done the Preston Garvey crap and got all the experience from that. Most people have anyways. So that's what I did. And then I did purchase like a swatter, a baseball bat from Mo while I was in Diamond City to help me clear out the Gragnok axe area within Hubris Comics. Now, I do want to point out you do need a advanced lockpicking skill, so make sure you take the time before you go there and level up your lockpicking to where you can pick advanced lockpicks. I forgot about this before I got there, so it delayed me a little bit on being able to get this weapon, but it's definitely worth the effort. It does more stagger as you hit, and then targets that take additional bleed damage as well. So very beneficial. And if you're trying to roleplay a Grognak build, totally a different video, but if that's something you're interested in, you can actually go to the top of the Hubris Comics where the production studios for the Silver Shroud, and in the lockers in the back corner, there is Grognak's costume that's really beneficial for that type of build. And then lastly, but certainly not least, the weapon that I was really striving to go get was the 2076 World Series baseball bat, and it's down in the Jamaica Plain Town Hall basement. And this one takes a bit of more time. I believe I was level 11 whenever I went to retrieve this. I know that's still pretty low in the grand scheme of how high of a level you can get to in Fallout 4, but this was probably around hour 5 of the time that we put into this character. So it does take a few more hours to get to this point. If you're more of a confident player with melee, you can probably go there a lot earlier on. Just keep in mind, you do need to be able to hack terminals. It's just an entry-level terminal, and then there are all the laser beams protecting the entrance to the town hall basement. So you do need to be able to take your time and go through and finesse your way through those lasers, or start the quest line that gives you the holotape key to disable those lasers. Now, I want to emphasize these weapons, these perks, and all of this that we've accomplished in this build so far is from about 6 hours of playtime, and I have not dove into the Nuka World expansion with this character yet. So I do want to point out, though, that there is a bat, stats-wise, that's probably a better fit for the long-term Slugger build that I would really recommend making your way to if you're interested in playing this build long-term. And that would be Cedo's Shiny Slugger. And it's a quest reward item that's given to the player by Cedo from the Nuka World expansion after we clear out the Gator Claws from the Safari Adventure Park, again, in the Nuka World expansion. So if you're planning on playing this build long-term and you want to stick to the baseball theme, I would really recommend checking out Cedo's Shiny Slugger. That's completed or gifted to the player after killing all the Gator Claws.
I have this 2076 World Series baseball bat. Interested?
What? Oh, that's An original.
All right, guys. Well, that about does it for our Fallout 4 Melee Slugger build guide. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned something new today, or at least gave you some motivation to try something new and unique within your Fallout 4 experience. If you liked the video, make sure you like it. And if you learned something new and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Check out our other playlists, specifically our deep dive playlist, if you want to learn more about the lore of Fallout 4. And check our links out down in the description below. And lastly, but certainly not least, a huge shout out to our patrons and our community members here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. If you're interested in becoming a patron or joining the community, check the links down in the description below. And without further ado, we'll see you guys on our next episode of our Fallout 4 Unique Build series.